This is One on One.
Brought to you by Gary's Wine and Marketplace.
We are pleased to be joined by Nancy Jo Sales, author of American Girl, Social Media and the Secret Lives of Teenagers. Nancy Jo, I want to thank you so much for joining us. It's a powerful book. You interviewed 200 girls, ages 13 to 19 across 10 states. You found such important and powerful things like
the constancy of social media. Cyberbullying is still very much an issue in girls' lives. Sexually explicit content, sharing of nude pictures.
how young?
Well, I heard about this going on in 6th grade. This was from 13-year-olds. It's happening everywhere, all over the country, every sort of community.
Across all socioeconomic.
Yeah.
Girls worse than boys?
Well, I mean...
Or different?
Girls use social media more than boys do, and they seem to be more the targets of abuses of social media, like sexual harassment, like cyberbullying.
It's interesting. I told you that our son, one of our sons who was 13, is on social media. And I'm trying to figure out, again, they don't talk to you about it, but do boys and girls post differently?
Yes.
How so? In general?
Well, girls feel a pressure. They don't always give in to this pressure, but they feel a pressure from our culture to post provocative pictures, sort of pictures in a kind of porn aesthetic where they're posing in certain ways and trying to convey like sexual appeal when they're very young, and it's not healthy for them. Studies show that what's called sexualization is very damaging to girls, but it's the culture of social media that this is what gets likes, this is what gets followers.
Is that what they're looking for? Likes, followers, attention?
That's what the rewards of social media are. That's sort of how it's set up. That's kind of what it is. It's a search for likes.
How dangerous?
I think it's based on the reporting that I've done and talking to many experts in the field of, education and child psychology and so forth. I think it's pretty clear that there's a lot about social media that is really hurtful and challenging, especially to girls. Both
Suicide.
Girls and boys.
I'm sorry for interrupting. You came, right before you came in, you said another suicide.
Yesterday, there was a report of a suicide of a 14-year-old in Missouri. And this was cyberbullying that happened on Facebook. So you see, it's not always some anonymous site. Sometimes it's very mainstream sites where these kind of abuses happen. Very high numbers of kids in the 80, 90 percentile range have witnessed some kind of cyberbullying. High numbers have experienced some kind of cyberbullying.
One of the quotes, one of the young ladies you talked to, social media, she said, social media is destroying our lives. You asked, why don't you go off it? She said, then I'd have no life.
Yeah. This was one of the first things that was said to me in this reporting, and it kind of set the stage for the rest of what I would hear for 2.5 years. That is what they feel, that, a lot of them, there's this idea that girls just love social media and they just want to be on it all the time. They are on it a lot of the time. 9 to 11 hours, kids are on some kind of screen, but they don't always love it. They feel that they have very conflicted feelings about it, but they also feel like if they're not involved in it, then they're not part of the conversation. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what people are talking about at lunch. Did you see the Snapchat story? Did you see what she posted on Instagram? It's bled into real life.
For those of us, for parents who are struggling and know that the iPhone or whatever it is, it's there. Do we take the phones away? Do we monitor it? What do we do?
I think the first thing that we have to do is to recognize that there is a huge problem.
You can't say, not my kid.
You can't. It's the culture. It's the culture of social media. We have to recognize that it's addiction to a certain extent. I mean, it has all the hallmarks of addiction. You can't stop thinking about it. You can't stop doing it. Phones don't leave the hand. Kids get really upset, like emotional when their phones are taken away. These are all like the hallmarks of an addicted person, and some studies do bear out that we're addicted to social media. I mean, the jury's kind of out.
I feel it sometimes.
Sure.
I react to things I see on the internet. I react to things that people said about me on Twitter. I mean, intellectually, I realize, hey, wait a minute. What, a 14-year-old?
Yeah, and also what studies do tell us that what we say and do from behind a screen is different from what we would do face to face. We've evolved to communicate face to face. Here we are communicating from behind screens. We're likely to be more aggressive, less ethical, and this, these are things that you really have to think about in terms of children coming up, coming of age, growing up, becoming a person, and learning to communicate in an environment in which there's more impulsivity and possibly, kids saying and doing things they would never do if they had to actually deal with someone in person.
Parents have to deal with this directly, talk about it.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that there's not enough talk going on about it. I hope that with this book,
Talk about what you want. We've got a minute left. What do you want to happen out of this?
I did the book because I wanted girls to be able to tell in their own voices what's going on. Because we were seeing reports of so many troubling things. And the book is very much in the voices of girls ages 13 to 19. I wanted them to tell the story to a large extent. There are expert voices and there are people who comment on this phenomenon. But really, I wanted girls to tell the story. And I wanted them to hear it because I wanted people to hear it because I want parents to know, because kids don't often offer this information. And knowing what they're going through, how they feel about it, how conflicted they are, I'm hoping that this information and this awareness can start a conversation between kids and parents. And frankly, schools have to do more too.
Nancy Jo Sales, you have done an important public service in writing the book American Girls, Social Media and the Secret Lives of Teenagers for All Parents. I want to thank you.
Thank you.
We think holiday gift shopping should be fun and stress-free. At Gary's, it still is. We have an amazing selection of wine, spirits, and gourmet treats. We have 6 different wine club options, gift baskets, accessories, and an amazing staff that will help you pull it all together. So visit one of our stores or shop online, and we'll help you get into the holiday spirit.
Also brought to you by JFK Medical Center, New Jersey Council of County Colleges, and by the New Jersey State Nurses Association and the Institute for Nurses.